twice, three times the champions. Champions of Europe finally. History made in Istanbul. The treble complete. The greatest story in club history has an ending. And what a final chapter.
Hello and welcome back to another typical City watch-along. It's been a while. It feels like a while. I've been ill for quite some time, for those of you that have been wondering where I am. I'm sure some of you already know. So, where's the camera? Which way do I look? What do I do? What buttons do I press? I don't know what I'm doing. To be honest, I was already bad at streaming. Taking 2 weeks off wasn't ideal to keep the momentum of my stream skills going. And, yeah, they're mediocre, to say the least. But let's hope City aren't mediocre tonight, because 5 wins in a row. Can we make it 6? Newcastle, who are in horrible form, minus their win against Sunderland in the FA Cup, which was a decent win. But City, this is going to be a tough game, regardless of the fact that Newcastle have got injuries. Their starting 11 still looks really good. Where you see the missing players and the injuries, if you look at their bench is something I think we need to be thinking about in the last 20, 25 minutes of the game. Maybe we'll start to see a few tired legs, and Eddie Howe might turn round at his bench and go, I don't fancy that. I don't fancy them lads. I want to keep the 11 on the pitch. In which case, if we can be patient, bide our time, we might not break them down early. I'll take it if we do. But if we end up going into the last, 20 minutes of the game and it's all square, and there's still plenty of time for City to win this game at the end of the game, should we need to win the game at the end of the game, if that makes sense. I'm excited for this one, though. I really think this is a game for momentum, a huge momentum factor. I wouldn't call it a must-win, because I think if we lose this game or even draw this game, we're still well within a title challenge. We're still there to win this Premier League. 100%, even if we lose this game. It's just the momentum factor. That pendulum will start to swing back towards Arsenal and Liverpool, because right now it feels like, although we are third, with Villa and Liverpool ahead of us right now, I think that it's a real opportunity to stick something to our opposition, and they're watching right now. So let's give them a fucking show. Let's give them an absolute show. Something they can sit back and go, wow, and shit. Like sitting back and watching the champions, potential champions, current champions and potential future champions of next season. And they'll be fearful. They'll be fearful if we go to St. James's Park. If we go there and beat them, I will love it. I will love it. Kevin Keegan once famously said, being the manager of Newcastle as well. So I will love it if we beat Newcastle today. But good to see so many of you in the chat as well. Good to see you all. Letty was in here early. Good to see you, Letty. Appreciate that. Do smash the like Letty's suggesting, if you could. Hit a like on the stream, please do. Sasha, we've got Kay and Joseph. This game will be great for us, but we will come out with a win. Remember that Man City for life. Love and respect, Blues. Love that, Joseph, mate. Appreciate that. Ade, Adam, good to see you, Adam. Stephen, Section 20, Man City fan. Ryan, Douglas. Captain Harris, good to see. I love that name, mate. Good to see you, Captain Harris. Topaz MCFC, Cortez. We've got Jeff. Good afternoon, Jeff, mate. How are you doing, mate? Cortez. Gent, who is over it. I'm terrible at reading names, especially when they're all joined together like that, but I appreciate you joining in the chat, mate. And Marie as well. Good to see Marie, the coolest zebra. Blue Moon, and James from Thailand, the little signpost has just popped in as well. Good to see you all. Really, really excited for this one. It is good to be back. I'm still a little bit, I'm still not 100%, can you believe it? I bet you're sick of hearing me moaning about being ill, but I am not 100%, believe it or not, and there may be a couple of coughs, there may be a couple of some horrible noises coming out of my face for this stream, which I've preemptively apologised for. I've got a little box of tissues by there. But everyone's ill in our house at the minute. I've got a 6-month-year-old girl who's just been contracted tonsillitis. So fucking great, and it really pisses me off. You know, I get really annoyed when my children are ill. I don't know why. I'm looking for people like, who did this? Who did this? There's no rationality to my thinking. Just like I'm going swinging, like, who gave my daughter tonsillitis? Just like looking for someone to hurt for doing it. Like, do you know what I mean? I feel horrible when they're ill. I can't stand it. It's the worst feeling. So if you hear a baby crying in the background, my missus is doing her absolute best to keep Chloe quiet, but yeah, you might hear the odd baby scream as well. But anyway, City team news. I'm excited for this team as well. By the way, guys, my original. To be fair, in my preview, I didn't really make it clear what team I actually picked. The very first team I put onto that tactics board, that was my predicted starting 11. I then started chopping and changing and moving everyone here, there, and everywhere, didn't I, to see what Pep's options are. But the team I started with, I got exactly right. And Newcastle. So come on. I deserve a little bit of a pat on the back for that. 22 out of 22 players predicted. Bang on the money. I love it. And I am not shy of blowing my own trumpet when I get it right. So I got that right, and I was extremely pleased with myself. So Jeff with the 5, appreciate that, mate. Susan, 1 goal, 2 assists. That's Doku for anyone who's wondering. Come on, citizens. Welcome back, Johnny. Johnny at 70% is still the GOAT. Let's go, City. Appreciate that, Jeff. Appreciate that. We've got some new modders in the chat as well, by the way. I don't know what went on, Section 20. I saw your email, mate. Hey, thanks for emailing me, but it all kicked off, didn't it, yesterday on my preview. I didn't even know what you were talking. When you emailed me, I was like, what's he talking about? I didn't actually see what you're talking about. But yeah, you pissed a few people off, didn't you, mate? You pissed them off. But I didn't delete any comments either, so I know you thought that I was deleting someone's comments. I wasn't. I imagine that person is deleting their own comments. I wouldn't delete anyone's comments. Feel free to say what you want on my channel, within reason, of course. But I certainly won't be deleting anyone's comments. But yeah, it did kick off Section 20, didn't it? So, but as to your suggestion, I've made a few people modders. I'm new to the streaming stuff, so I'm not really know what I'm doing. I am faking it until I make it. Basically, I have no idea what I'm doing. To an extent, I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, Issa as well, appreciate that. Yeah, Issa, you got involved as well. I saw that. I haven't read it. I want to go back, and I'm sure people are now wondering what I'm talking about. So people are probably going to flood to that preview. If anyone's wondering, it was Section 20's comment caused a bit of a stir over the term sitter, Manchester Sitter, as in spelt Citeh, which seemed to ruffle a few feathers of City fans that didn't take kindly to that. I don't know why it's that offensive to City fans, really. I get what their point is, and it's because the rags use it as a derogatory term to try and stick the knife in City fans to say, oh, I don't get their point. When United fans mock us for sounding Mancunian, I don't understand. Well, there's quite a lot of irony in that, like trying to be hurtful. It's quite ironic, really, because there aren't many Manc accents coming out of the Manchester United fan base. That's why it's ironic. But who cares? Who cares what you sound like or where you're from? I am bothered to, the most minuscule amount that it could possibly bother me. I really don't care at all about the terminology of city or city. I try to pronounce my words as best as possible, but the Manc in me does slip out once in a while. You've probably heard that I do pronounce city, but every now and again it comes out like city. Like every now and again it comes out as a Manc. Can't be helped. It's just the way I am. So apologise to anyone who's been offended by that term. Section 20, I'd ignore them, mate. But yeah, Man City fan, I appreciate that. 11.11 thousand subscribers. That happened while I was in bed. You know, I was sat there and I hadn't checked on my account for quite some time. And I just refreshed and I was like, oh, well, it's chilling there with COVID, and popped over to 8,000 subscribers. So that cheered me up a little bit, I must admit. But I appreciate you keeping an eye on things. Teams are about to come out. Kieran Trippier. I haven't given you the team, but you've seen it already. I don't know why I do this. It's a waste of fucking time, really, isn't it? But the teams are on their way out. And like I said, I got it, 22 out of 22. Newcastle, Dubravka, Trippier, Schär, Botman and Dan Burn. That's the back five. Bruno, who's going to be sitting in front of that back 4 and 5, if you include the goalkeeper. Longstaff, and like I said, Lewis Miley, 17-year-old Lewis Miley, one to watch out for. Very good player, but he's standing instead of Joel Linton, who, I can't lie, I am buzzing that he isn't playing, because he bodied some of our players in that League Cup. He really did. He's a dangerous player, such a physical guy who's got incredibly quick feet. And I mean, the man on my screen right now, Eddie Howe, deserves a lot of praise for converting him from a striker into a midfield, because you can't forget the guy joined Newcastle as a centre forward and couldn't hit a barn door to save his life. Then Eddie Howe had the pretty much bordering on genius idea of, right, who would have thought, drop him out of attack, put him in central midfield, and he's not looked back. He has not looked back at all, and he's been a brilliant player since he's been moved into midfield. Up front for them, they've got Anthony Gordon, Alexander Isak, and Miguel Almiron. In terms of Manchester City, we've got Edison in goal, Kyle Walker, captain, Diaz, Ake, and Gvardiol. That's the back five. Rodri and Kovacic sitting in front of them. Phil Foden, I imagine, is going to be central in front of Rodri and Kovacic, with Bernardo on the right, Doku on the left, and Alvarez up top. So I'm pleased that I got it right. Now the question is that I wasn't confident in that team that I picked. Pep's picked the same team that I would have picked, or rather, I thought he was going to pick. But I mean, there is still question marks in that midfield. Who's going to push? What's Kovacic going to do? That's my main concern here. What is Kovacic going to do? Because if he is going to be a number 8, as in up and down midfield, almost a box-to-box midfield, I hope he had his Weetabix this morning, because he's going to be knackered, because Newcastle are going to pose a threat going the other way, which means he's going to have to do some defending during certain phases of this game, and he's going to have to drop alongside Rodri and push to get alongside Phil Foden, which means he's got a monumental task in midfield today, Kovacic. So we require a Mateo Kovacic top-notch performance today to win this game. That's the one area that concerns me in this starting 11. I can't see Gvardiol now pushing forward, which was a potential idea, with Doku being in front of him. Doku will come forward on occasions, but not as similar to what we've seen with Kyle Walker earlier on in the season, and Gvardiol in very small occasions we've seen him push forward. That's when Grealish has been on the pitch and he's tucked inside to almost get out of the way of Gvardiol, to give him that channel to roam up and down the left wing. Doku's not tucking inside. One day, maybe, I can't ever see Doku being a central player. He's very much a winger, and I like him there. He fits the bill perfectly. Fits the bill immensely well. I can't see him tucking inside and getting out of the way of Gvardiol. Maybe drifting across to the other wing at some point, potentially, and then could Bernardo Silva tuck inside, allowing Gvardiol that space? Maybe. I don't know. But Pep's looking nervous, to be honest. I don't think he feels that confident about this game, but the game is about to get underway. Come on, City! It's already gone my throat. It's not a good start to my vocal cords. But you're going to have to apologise if I'm coughing and spluttering. I'm going to do my best. But Alvarez on the ball. About to take kick-off. And we're off. Come on, Blues. They don't play. Arsenal and Liverpool not playing until next week is such a psychological factor. Long ball from Edison's been flicked on by Gvardiol. Out for a throw-in. Let's see how City is setting up. Bernardo Silva's gesturing, asking Kyle Walker to go wide. Bernardo Silva's come really deep. Really deep. So that starting 11 that I predicted doesn't look man for man, I got it right, but shape-wise, be interesting to see if Bernardo Silva remains as central as he has, because he's playing. We've almost got 3 defensive midfielders with Kovacic, Rodri, and Bernardo Silva all offering a little line in front of Diaz and Ake, with Walker and Gvardiol pushing up really high. It's interesting, this. What's he doing? What is Pep doing? Sanjeev, good to see you, mate. Shanti as well, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Timmy. Jeff's got a belly full of burger and fries, content and ready to watch a Doku masterclass. Is it Doku or is it Doku? I've heard everyone pronounce it in very different ways, but nobody has corrected, like, oh, Doku himself hasn't really said his name before. Long ball over the top. Isaac's in. Is he offside? Flag stays down. It's still down. It's squared. Kyle Walker's got a cross. Flag goes up. It's gone in, but it's gone. It's got to be offside. It looked offside. It looked offside. Khalid, appreciate that, mate. I really appreciate the super chat. Good luck, says Khalid. Really appreciate that, Khalid. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, Khalid. Ooh, it's close, you know. It's close. Almiron was definitely offside, but he's not the one who got on the end of that long ball over the top. A really high line from City. Question marks now. This is what the old VAR starts to do now, don't they? They're getting involved and see. Need to have a listen to see if this is onside or not, because we're already fucking 1-0 down if it's... What are they doing here? Edison's gone down here. Edison's been absolutely mangled. Kyle Walker and Longstaff have slid into Edison, and together they've both just clattered Edison on the ball. Is this a goal or what? I can't believe it. Cheers, Marie. Marie, I need to make you figure out if I can. There you go, Marie. You're a moderator now. You're always looking after my chat, so you've got to be a moderator as well, mate. What is going on here, though? I'd like to know whether this is a goal or not. That would be ideal. Because Edison's been flattened here. So it looks like he is offside by the sounds of it. But now it's a question of how serious is Edison's injury. And would the injury have even happened had the offside flag gone up sooner? Ortega warming up there. You're absolutely right, Renegade Gaming. This is another reason the flag needs to go up straight away, because now we have an injured goalkeeper. There needs to be some sort of middle ground, doesn't there? There needs to be, common sense needs to prevail, doesn't it? It really does in those situations. And surely linesmen have enough about them now to tell whether it's, you know, if we're talking that, I get it. They've got to keep it down, because if they go flag up and then he was onside, the move was never given the freedom to take place. I get that. And that can't happen. That's what VAR's there for, to mop up any mistakes that are made by the linesman. But when you talk, they should be good enough to tell a yard or 2 yards or 3 yards. Surely the linesman should be good enough to notice the difference between a close call, the one that you need to leave the flag down, and one like that. Because that looked quite obviously offside. This was from a TV angle where, you know, you're looking at it a bit skewed. Fucking hell, Edison's been caught on the ball. It's going to be 1-0. It's got to be. How's it not? Oh, they've absolutely fucked it, Newcastle. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Rodri's doing that. But Edison, he didn't look right. He was given the ball straight to his feet, and Edison did not look right at all. He gave the ball away straight away. And then it was just Anthony Gordon fluffing it completely. He got the ball, and you're thinking, hit it first time, and it's an open net. But he decides to pass it. And Newcastle somehow don't put it into the back of the net, and Edison's dropped to his arse. He's sat down. Ortega and Pep's tapping on the shoulder of the fourth official. Let's have another look at this. Ball played back to Edison from Ake. I mean, Edison was chilling there. I mean, too nonchalant. Injury or no injury, I don't know what he's thinking there, but Edison just fell over once he tried to retrieve the ball. He tried with his right foot, tries to dink it over Almiron, but gets horribly wrong, hits him in the midriff. It wasn't even Anthony Gordon. It lands to Almiron, and then Almiron passes it to Bruno Guimaraes, who completely misses his shot and just slices it wide, and Kyle Walker gets it away. During that, Ederson was trying to get across the goal, and his leg just gave way. His leg just collapsed underneath him. And Ortega is about to come onto the pitch, which doesn't bother me too much because I like Ortega. I think we've got one of the best number twos in the Premier League, maybe the best number two. If only Brighton really, as a pair of goalkeepers, use them as frequently as they do. Not the greatest of starts. Not a good start, really. I wouldn't say it's through poor quality. It's just a bit chaotic, isn't it? It's just a bit mental. All from a little dink over the top. Kyle Walker's rubbing the head of Ederson there. He's limping off as well, Ederson. That's not good news at all, that. That's devastating. Already a substitute down as well. Kyle Walker's doing that to his teammates. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. It's good captaincy. That is, because we need to focus. We need to get hold of this game again. 7 minutes in. Ederson's walking straight down the tunnel. Just caught a little glimpse. Oh, little behind the scenes camera in the tunnel now, watching Ederson limp his way up the steps. Whips his shirt off and is not happy. He's not happy. I wouldn't blame stupid Kyle Walker injured Ederson. I wouldn't blame Kyle Walker, Stephen. He's got to go in there. He's got to go flying into that tackle. Here comes Rodri, though. City showing a bit of teeth. Coming forward the other way now. Doku. One-on-one with Almiron. Gets it back to Rodri. Kovacic. Rodri. Ake. Moving our way back now. This is, 8 minutes in, the first time City have strung more than probably 5 or 6 passes together. But no, I know you're frustrated with Kyle Walker there, Stephen, but nah, it's not his fault. He's got to go for it. He has to go for that ball. Rod with a long ball over the top. Wishful thinking, really, because it's Dan Burns' head. All 9'8" of Dan Burn you've got to avoid with a long diagonal ball going Dan Burns' way. I'm pretty sure he's going to win most of those in the air. So it's got to be precision if you're going to try them diagonal balls like that. Diaz. Hey up, Bam Bam, how you doing, mate? You okay? And Matty as well. Good to see you, Matty. 125 in the building. If we could pop a like on the stream, if you haven't already, please do. It really, really helps. I don't think so, Matty. I don't think City will go. It depends how bad the injury is. But I think we'll just have to get by with Ortega. I mean, that would be a huge offence to Ortega, really, wouldn't it? I mean, I'd be pissed off if I was Ortega and was thinking, right, I'm sure he doesn't wish Ederson gets injured, but when you're always the number two, you might give your teammate a pat on the back saying, sorry you're injured, mate, but deep down you're going, my time to shine. It is my time to shine. Let's show them what I'm about, and maybe I've got an opportunity now. If City went and said, right, let's go and get another goalkeeper, what does that say to Ortega? It doesn't fill him with confidence, does it? Doku's coming inside. Somehow, he's barraging his way through like a little tank. The thing with Ortega is, I think that it's so frustrating that there's attributes of Ederson that are clearly better than Ortega. Distribution, his first touch, his composure. Although that wasn't composed, but I mean, I think we need to give Ederson an excuse there because he was just like absolutely hacked by Kyle Walker, wasn't he? But yeah, that in terms of the difference between the two, it's clearly distribution. But shot stopping, I'd prefer Ortega. What you don't want now is Ortega to make a mistake, like on the ball, like something that's like a typical bread and butter move for Ederson. I think Ortega's not bad with his feet, but yeah, you don't want to see him make a mistake because it won't do any confidence for him at all. But City pinning Newcastle back to the edge of their area here. Rodri's brought it forward. Lovely intricate play. Foden on the edge of the area. Get a shot away, boys. Bloody hell, we're working our way back out there. I thought there was a shot on there for Foden, but he tried a few little intricate passes with Alvarez, but we've still got the ball. Dominating possession really, really well. Kyle Walker seems to have swapped positions with Ruben Diaz temporarily. Getting back into their shape now. Kovacic, fed by Rodri, does really well there, Kovacic, because that wasn't an easy ball to control, but he made it look easy. Newcastle are pressing hard as well, you know. It's like they're keeping the ball really well, City, and it's not like Newcastle are making it easy for us either, because they are pressing, and it's really good touches and first-time passes from all the City players so far. Gvardiol coming down the left side, keeps the ball really well. Rodri. Over to Ruben Diaz. Brings it forward. He's only got Kyle Walker as an overlap. Gives it to him. Back to Kovacic. Into Rodri with a bit of space. Edge of the area is Rodri. Oh, he tried to pass it into Alvarez. He wasn't on his toes really there, but Ruben Diaz gets back and just takes the ball off Isak like he wasn't even there. Brilliant defending from Ruben Diaz. It's good from City so far. Possession, need a bit more penetration, a bit more clinical passing in the... Here we go. Foden's bringing it forward into the area. He's got to get his shot away. Oh, Phil, you got to shoot there, mate. Oh, he tried to do the unselfish thing and play it to Alvarez, but it was never on. The pass was the harder choice. As Botman and Bruno Guimaraes, between the two of them, they blocked the pass from Foden, who's trying to cut it square to Alvarez. And if he gets the ball to Alvarez, it's got to be 1-0, because Alvarez is all the space in the world, 8 yards out, almost like a tap-in. But Phil Foden should have shot there in my book. Corner ball, deep one, and it's cleared at the back post. Foden on the edge of the area. He loses out to Bruno, who's trying to bring the ball forward, but City swarming him. And Gvardiol gives away a free kick, which was probably what Newcastle wanted. Because that was a passage of play there for about 5 minutes where Newcastle were getting ripped to shreds. Some really good football. Oh, Foden, mate, yeah. Like you said, shoot and shoot. G, I agree with you, Man City fan as well, I agree with you. It's Gvardiol. G, he's playing at left back. Dan Burns booted the ball against Foden. Ball's gone straight up in the air, and then Dan Burns had to knock it out of play for a Man City throw-in down by the, 10-15 yards away from the corner flag. There's Kevin De Bruyne sitting and pondering how he's going to come on in the second half and destroy this black and white. What is he doing, Bernardo Silva there? He's just booted the ball against the back of Rodri. Luckily, it comes right back to him. Ortega with the ball now. Long ball up to Doku, and Doku's first touch was brilliant. There, Gvardiol gives it away. Come on, Josko. Long ball over the top. Almiron is offside there. Flag goes up straight away. Straight away this time. And I think there was a bit of guilt in the raise of that flag from the linesman there, because that was as offside as you get. And this time he was like, yeah, I better not let Ortega get injured. Flag up straight away. And I mean, yeah, come on. It's like 8 yards offside. So sensible linesman officiating there. Kyle Walker's trying to bring the ball forward. Dan Burns steps in and nicks it off him. He's onside here. Almiron's been sent down the line. Josko Gvardiol, where are you, mate? Ball's come into Isak, and Diaz does enough to put him off. Linesman doesn't know. Linesman doesn't know. He's thinking goal kick corner. I think looking at Isak's face, who's fuming. I'm assuming it's a goal kick. But Josko there, mate. You've got to look at your man there. He's in your vision. People, I've seen a few people in the comments saying I've got it in for Gvardiol. I'm not pleased with him. I'm going to be straight with you. I don't think he's been one of our best players this season. I believe in him, though. I genuinely think he will go on to be a centre-back, and an unbelievable one. A really good one. But in the last 5 or 6 weeks, there's been a couple of errors in his game and just doesn't breathe confidence at all. Just then, just prime example, he's got lovely ball from Rodri. Doku's in. Doku's going to cut onto his right, is he? He cuts it inside to Kovacic. Oh, if he just couldn't bring it with him, and it's going to be a rebound from Bernardo Silva. Oh, over the bar. Got to be 1-0. We've got to take our chances there. Lovely ball that from Rodri. Rodri just like absolute Kevin De Bruyne watching that and probably giving it one of them, because that ball to Doku. Doku's lovely little pass into Kovacic. Kovacic controls it, but he falls behind him. He couldn't bring it with him. The momentum of Kovacic was going too fast. He stops the ball, but he himself keeps going, and the ball ends up behind him. Ricochets off Phil Foden. The ball lands kindly to the edge of the area. Bernardo Silva coming in late, volleys it high and wide. And here comes City again, looking dangerous. We've got to get a goal here, because this passage of play has been dominant from City. Dominant. We've got to get a goal. Alvarez in the penalty area. Into Phil Foden. Into Doku, edge of the area. Jeremy Doku blocked. Volleyed from Doku is blocked. And I mean, fucking hell, how close have we got to get to their goal without scoring? Unreal stuff from City. This is absolutely ripping them to shreds. But there is a threat the other way. There is a threat the other way. Every time they have the ball and have it in our half, they're just looking over the top, because it's such a high line from City that there's space in behind us for the counter-attack. So we've got to be mindful of that, because if we go 1-0 down, it suits the way they're set up to nick a goal here, Newcastle. They're absolutely set up to steal a 1-0 lead and then hang on. But Phil Foden's found a huge pocket of space and a lovely ball to Alvarez. Slow it down, Julian. Oh, and he's taken a shot and it's blocked. He needed to slow it down there. He needed options. He took the shot and he got it blocked. Got to slow it down there. Wait for your teammates to catch up. Rodri's pulling strings in that midfield. Kovacic is doing really well. Bernardo Silva's posing a threat as well. Phil Foden's been brilliant. The little pocket of space, I say little, it was an absolute chasm of space that Phil Foden found there. And he's done it again. Phil Foden's in behind. He's charging down. Jeremy Doku on the edge of the area. Left foot, deflected shot. It's got to be a corner, that, isn't it? Looked like a deflected shot. We're tearing him to pieces here. We're tearing him to pieces, but we are not 1-0 up. Yeah, that was a good effort from Doku. I think he was going for the bottom right-hand corner, but it ends up flying high and wide over the top left corner. Corner ball, though. Alvarez taking it. Last one, he whipped it straight in, really deep, which is odd to do it against Newcastle. Short one taken this time. Because, I mean, they're not exactly small, are they, Newcastle? They've got absolute units in their team. Even without Joel Linton. Kyle Walker's thinking about it. Shot's gone horribly wide from Kyle Walker. Can we talk about how James Trafford got decked yesterday and the goal stood, but ours got chalked off because Akanji had his hand rested on Alisson? Jeff, you're absolutely right. And I remembered that, and I thought, weirdly, a weird place for me to have remembered that. I was actually on the toilet. I was watching the highlights of that game on the toilet. Too much information, but that's when I was watching it, and then I looked out the window and pondered. I'm sure Alisson was given a free kick against City for the most, like, bink, a little finger, like a floppy hand just rested on his shoulder. Free kick, straight away. But I can't remember, who was it? Was it Morris, who absolutely flattened James Trafford, just shoulder charged in midair. The goalkeeper got taken out. Nah, goal stands. That stands, no problem. You're absolutely spot on, Jeff. And it's a fucking joke. The standards, that's probably one of the areas that I want to see fixed the most, is this overprotection of goalkeepers. And the fact that clearly they seem to be protected when it suits. You know, I mean, Alisson was heavily protected against us. That would have been 2-0 Man City. You know, Diaz tapped in an open net. 2-0 Man City against Liverpool. The way we were playing against them right then as well. We were dominating that game. Jesus Christ, referee. Bruno Guimaraes has just taken out Kovacic. Yellow card. But yeah, like you say, and then James Trafford gets... And I mean, the difference between the fouls is astronomical. Like, it's a joke. You've angered me, Jeff. You reminded me of something that annoyed me. Soul King Jack, good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. I think I saw you before and I never mentioned you. Hope you're doing good, mate. Rodri's the best player in the world today. I think it's a hard one to disagree with. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what does Rodri? What's his weakness? If you want to criticise Rodri, where do you start? What do you do where do you compete? It depends what you want from a footballer as well. I think a lot of people's opinions will come from that. Bernardo Silva's attempted cross was blocked, and here well done, Ruben Diaz steps in and wins it. Bernardo Silva needs to be a little bit more assured. That's twice now. His little passes have been a bit sloppy. One was into the back of Rodri about 10 minutes ago, and that one was a cross that was very easily blocked, but Ruben Diaz steps in. But yeah, in terms of best player in the world, it's hard to argue about Rodri being that guy. But I think the majority of football fans prefer looking at your Messis and your Mbappes and your goal scorers and your assist grabbers. You know, that type of player is the headline grabbers. You know what I mean? Those types of guys. But I'm absolutely with you. In terms of, like, you know, for his position, hands down. It's not even a debate, is it? Remember, I can't believe Casemiro was even... Nathan Ake nearly gave it away there. Casemiro was even debated to be close to this man. Rodri's just embarrassed Casemiro last season, didn't he? Went and banged in a 1-0 Champions League final winning goal to cap off the most almost impeccable season from a defensive midfielder you could ask for. And I mean, the only thing he's done wrong this season is get sent off against Nottingham Forest. And that's been a killer, that has, for us. But here's Gvardiol coming inside, gets it to Rodri. Lovely little dink from Rodri to Kyle Walker, who brings it down in the penalty area, cuts it back to Bernardo Silva on the corner, edge of the area. Rodri into Gvardiol. Nice turn from Josko, but he gives it away. Good turn, though, from him. Doku slowing it down a little bit now. City slowing it down. He is, Jacob. Foden is looking fantastic. They're not picking him up either. Doku's has gone inside, so I'll eat my words. Jeremy Doku has tucked inside, and Gvardiol has pushed up down that left channel. I'm going to eat my words. I really would never have expected that of him, but that's good. That's amazing news, because there's nothing worse than having a very one-dimensional player. You know, being a square peg, you're only ever going to fit in a square hole. We need malleable players at Manchester City. We need players that are versatile, that can play in different positions. And the fact that Pep clearly trusts Jeremy Doku to come inside, and he's been there for a couple of minutes now. He's playing as the number 10 alongside Phil Foden, and Gvardiol has pushed forward. That's great news, that Pep trusts him. I didn't see it, to be honest. I see him as a winger, but Pep obviously sees him to have enough control in the middle. Kyle Walker's cross is cleared by Trippier. No one was even in there, to be honest. Anthony Gordon's going to try and run him for pace. Ruben Diaz steps across him there. That's probably a foul, is it? Is it not? Ruben Diaz getting away with one there, just using his strength, stepping across Anthony Gordon, who he's a bit of a twat, that Anthony Gordon. I must admit, I am not a fan of him. Bit of a prick. He left Everton in like a very nasty way, didn't he? He just down-tooled and just said, I'm off. See you later, Everton. Even though he'd been there his whole time. Everton even made a statement. They released a statement about how disappointed they were in how he decided to leave the club. And then last weekend, he ended up in a tussle with a Sunderland player and was arrogant enough to think, you can have my shirt after the game. Who the fuck? No one wants your shirt, mate. Maybe a couple of Newcastle fans might want your shirt. Outside of Newcastle, nobody wants your shirt, mate. Who the fuck do you think you are, Anthony Gordon? And he's just been bodied by Ruben Diaz. Kyle Walker's cross. Oh, what a finish from Bernardo Silva. Kyle Walker's cross. Who says this man can't cross? Who says this man can't cross? Bernardo Silva with a Cruyff behind the back of his standing leg. First time, whipped in by Kyle Walker, and Bernardo Silva nonchalantly, with his right weaker foot, just flicks it round the back of his standing leg into that corner. And Dan Burns come over kicking off here. And is this because Anthony Gordon's been flattened? Is that why they're kicking off? Is because Anthony Big Mouth Gordon has been flattened up the other end? But who gives a shit? Referee said play on. Play to the whistle, you fools. Unbelievable. Do you like how all the City players were like, Dan Burns coming over like, oi, you, down there, what you doing? Like, and all the City players were like, fuck off, looking up at him. Oh, I love that ball from Doku. Kyle Walker with acres of space, and Kyle Walker whips it in. He's onside Bernardo Silva. Oh, that finish. That finish. Oh, it was worth ripping my throat to bits. That's me done now. I'm going to have to be quiet for about an hour before I can speak. I can't speak. Love that. Oh, Bernardo Silva. Presume that's 1-0 City. I don't know what Newcastle are whinging about. That absolutely loved that goal. And you're 100% right, section 20. Here we go. We're looking at Ruben Diaz. No, he tripped. Anthony Gordon tripped, and if anything, he was the man who first put his hand on Ruben Diaz. No foul for me. I'm sure, I don't even know who's... just curious, because do you know who's doing my head in? And I'm sure you get... his hate for Manchester City is... there's no boundaries to how much Mark Goldbridge hates Manchester City. I guarantee you, if he's doing... Don't go and watch it, because stay with me, please. Stay with me. Yeah, he's streaming the game. I'm sure he's... I bet you, if you go and pop over and see his reaction, I guarantee he's going to say City getting favourable decisions. I actually like Mark Goldbridge, you know. I know a lot of City fans won't like hearing that. I actually think he's all right, you know what I mean? Like he seems like a funny guy, but his opinions on Manchester City are a joke. They are a joke, man. Like he doesn't pull his punches, and they're not even punches. Do you know what I mean? It's like it makes no sense when he talks about City, and there's his standards as well in terms of. You know, he bends the rules for his own club and many other clubs. But when it's City, he bends them back the other way. Newcastle are looking nervy here. City are coming forward. This is 5-on-4 with City. Lovely ball from Doku into Phil Foden. Alvarez offering the overlap, but Phil Foden chooses to use his right foot. Oh, and he's just past the post. We can batter this lot. We're going to batter this lot. We keep playing like this and we get a second. Come on, we can batter them. I mean, what a statement that'll be. Not just beating them, if we beat them convincingly. That's scintillating. Scintillating football this has been so far from Manchester City. And life wasn't made easy for us. Do not forget that Ederson was clattered at the beginning of this game. Oh, they've given it away again, Newcastle. Bernardo Silva's first time effort off the bar. Saved and tipped onto the bar by Dubravka. But, I mean, Newcastle is just suicidal defending, this is. Unbelievable. I mean, Bernardo Silva surprised me to even take that shot on, but in steps Josko Gvardiol. We are purring. Here comes Josko Gvardiol. Have a shot, mate. And he's ballooned it horribly wide. That's not even close. Not even close. But, I mean, the interception from Josko Gvardiol was absolutely brilliant there. Kept us on the front foot really well there, but he's got to keep his head down when he's shooting like that. What an effort from Bernardo Silva. Did I just call him Banana Silva? I don't know what I said then. I'm sure I said Banana Silva. Oh, I'm clearly not 100% yet, am I? Anthony Gordon bringing it forward now. First time Newcastle, and it's offside. 8 shots City have had in half an hour of football. Only 1 on target, though. That can't be right. That's not right. That has to be wrong. Because Dubravka just saved Bernardo Silva's shot. And he has also scored. So, it must be at least 2 on target. It must be. What are they doing? Ortega, risky ball into Foden. He didn't want that there. And he's had the ball nicked off him by Lewis Miley. And Newcastle coming forward. Ake, brilliant defending. That's the ball we're talking about. That's the one where Ederson just gets it right. You know, he sees the small yards of... what is Kovacic doing there? Tried a backheel and he backheeled it onto his own leg. Almiron's bringing it forward. Ruben Diaz clears it. Kovacic. That's what I'm saying. I've been saying it all season. These stupid moments of just errors. He tried a backheel and he backheeled it onto his own shin. And he sends Almiron away down the right wing who gets his cross away and Diaz clears it. Oh, I mean, if they equalise, it'll be the most unjust equaliser you'll ever see. because this has been a massacre, this first half an hour of football. It really has. But 1-0, so far from being done, this game. Google says 1 shot on target, Johnny. I don't understand. Dubravka saved Bernardo Silva's... That's it now. He's forever known as Bernardo Silva. Made up story. I completely agree. What is going on? They're in again. And I mean, I'm worried. I missed it because I was reading the chat, but they're looking at Ortega, and it's exactly what I was talking about. This is the side of his game that's weak. Right, I can tell already it's Ortega. He's got the ball at his feet. What's he doing? He's just dilly-dallying on the ball, thinking he's got all the time in the world, and Rodri just fucking bollocks him. Rodri just goes, oh, I can't do it because I'll end up killing my throat. But Rodri just, who gets back and intercepts the cross that came in from, but Isaac just gets in the way. Corner ball, though. Ortega's got to sharpen up, man. He really has. Because this City side do not deserve to be in a 1-1 situation. Ortega's coming out, and he allows that ball to run out for a goal kick. But there you go. There's your warning, Ortega. Do not do that again. Sloppy. Gifts. We just can't be gifting teams opportunities like that. Newcastle don't deserve a thing. They don't deserve a thing. They haven't earned a single moment of quality, or any chance or opportunity in this game has been gifted to them. This is not through any hard work or a bit of quality from Newcastle. It's gifts, and we can't do that. Oh, he's a slip. Dan Burns fell over, and Phil Foden's away. Phil Foden's away. He's got to send Alvarez. Oh, he didn't know what to do. Alvarez is going to have a shot here. Shot saved by Dubravka. Corner ball. But Newcastle still all over the place at the back. But, I mean, we've not exactly been solid at the back. In terms of on the ball, though, it's not like defending badly. Every time we've given it away, someone else has really been quick. Ruben Diaz, Nathan Ake, Rodri, in Ortega's case just then, all helping their teammates after their teammates made a mistake. Kovacic has been fed in the area there. Lovely ball from Bernardo Silva, that was. Kovacic keeps it into Alvarez. Foden. Yeah, just cut these errors out and we'll win this league. I'm telling you right now. Because the way we're playing right now is absolutely sensational. But it's just these little errors that we're gifting opposition goals. Lovely ball into Foden's feet. Oh, and he's overran it. Rodri with the awareness. First time, little cushioned pass. 2 yards in front of Phil Foden. Brilliant ball. But Foden's first touch overruns it. Gvardiol's giving it away, trying to feed Doku. Long ball over the top and Isaac's in. Kyle Walker's got to get back here. It's one-on-one with Kyle Walker. Isaac has buried it, for fuck's sake. And it's all come from a Josko Gvardiol giveaway. It's all come from a Josko Gvardiol giveaway. One pass at the other side of the pitch. And it's 1-1, which is the last thing they deserve. The last thing they deserve, man. Always gifts, isn't it? Why does it have to be a gift? Can't we play against a team that earns their goals? We have to give them goals, don't we? We've been annihilating Newcastle. We've been ripping them to shreds. And a gift. The first time ball from Bruno Guimaraes is absolutely brilliant to Isaac. But he's only got the ball because we gave it him. And the finish from Isaac was unbelievable as well. Absolutely quality from Isaac there to finish it like that. That's what I'm saying. The guy's a poacher. How is this 1-1? It's just so frustrating. So frustrating. Anthony Gordon's run there has given Isaac the option there, because Kyle Walker's he's got to look after two people then all of a sudden. Because Anthony Gordon's coming on the overlap of Isaac, which means Kyle Walker has to think about two people at once. Ortega with a lovely ball to Phil Foden. Somehow Doku's got on the end of it. Doku's coming forward here. And Dan Burn takes it off him. I mean, if I'm City players now, that front... What, Alvarez, Doku, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Rodri is included in that. Kovacic, if I'm one of them, I'm fuming, and I'm making this 2-1 immediately. Here he is, Doku into Bernardo Silva. Josko Gvardiol shot is blocked. Gvardiol's had more shots than anyone on this team. Almiron's bursting away on the counter-attack, and it's Kovacic who gets back and makes him turn round. Well done there. Long ball again, over the top. This little dink over the top is just what we've got to be careful of. There's so much space behind us. And here comes Anthony Gordon. Acres of space down the left-hand side. There's no way they're going to make this 2-1. Don't do that to me. No way! No way if they just made this game 2-1. How the fuck are we 2-1 down? What an absolute travesty this is. An absolute unjust. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? Insane. We have been destroying them. Destroying them. And 2 sucker punches. And it's Ruben Diaz this time with the mistake. He's the one who's giving it away. Dilly-dallying on the halfway line. Isak takes the ball off him. Ricochets back to Anthony Gordon down the left wing, who cuts back onto his right foot. And he just whips it into that far corner. And I mean, 2 great finishes from Newcastle, in fairness. But I mean, the mistake, again, the giveaway from Ruben Diaz on the halfway line is why that opportunity even came to be. Absolutely fucking infuriating, man. What a shithouse as well Anthony Gordon is. That's the quickest game, like flip of a game's momentum I've ever seen in terms of like how well we were playing. To find ourselves 2-1 down. Ortega's giving it away. You fuck are you doing, boys? What are we thinking there? He's got the ball back and he's gotten away with it, but another ball given away. Doku's in. Doku's going to use your speed, Doku. He's one-on-one. Oh, he's had to slow down. Jeremy Doku, and he's got back in time. We nearly got... I mean, fucking infuriating me, this game. It really is getting me on my tits now, this game. Absolutely. Botman's giving it away, and Doku ends up going through on goal. Had to slow down, though, because of us... I mean, it's good defending in the end. If Doku just gets in front of him, then he's looking at a red card for any little touch, and Doku goes down, it's red card. We're turning this game round. I'm saying it right now. We're turning this game round. We're turning it round. We have to. Corner ball. It's whipped in. Cleared just. Rodri's going to chase it. Throw in. Jeff, appreciate the 2, mate. Thanks very much. Doku brace to take the lead. Late prediction from Jay's Killers. 4-2 to Newcastle. Tuna can't believe it. Me too, mate. I'm with you. I can't believe it. I don't know what I'm watching here. We've just been punished. We've been punished for mistakes. It's taking too long on the ball. And it's not like we weren't warned either. We've already made like 4 or 5 mistakes before they even scored. Kovacic backheeling it on his own leg. Ortega getting caught on the ball. Gvardiol was giving it away, and that gave them a counter-attack that came to nothing. Foden outside to Doku. Doku onto his right foot, and he's telegraphed that. It was poor from Doku. That really easy for Trippier to stop that. And here come Newcastle the other way. And Isaac's been sent through. What a great run that is. And he's absolutely doing him. No way. Ortega's saved it. Good save. Big save that from Ortega. One-on-one Isaac there. And he's saved us from going 3-1 down. What the actual fuck, man. 3-1 would be an unbelievable outcome to this first half. Typical City one might say 3-2-1 by team. Absolutely right, mate. I know what you're saying, Soul King, and I do think there was a moment like about a month ago where we do find ourselves to be in a lucky situation to be as close to the top as we are. Corner ball whipped in by Trippier, cleared by Diaz. I know what you're saying, mate. We have been poor. But today, we've been bloody brilliant in an attacking sense. On the ball, like during the first third of play. Just silly, sloppy mistakes. Just giving them the ball. I mean, we're finding out why Ortega's number 2 today. We're finding out why. And he's just giving it away again. As I said that, he kicked the ball up and gave it straight away. Luckily, we've retrieved it. Little dink from Ake over the top to find Foden. Some space there for Phil Foden, who's coming right down the middle of the pitch. Phil Foden, that's a foul, referee! What's he doing, man? What's he doing? That's Phil Foden was fouled there all day long. Ruben Diaz is pulled down around the back of his head there by Isak. And Isak's not slow, is he? Ruben Diaz was shown a clean pair of heels there by Isak, one-on-one. And Ortega, that's what he's good at, shot stopping, one-on-ones. I'm happy with Ortega in that regard. I am not happy with his distribution because he's given it away about 4 times already, one of which created a genuine opportunity. Oh, God, this is a sickener, man. It really is. Diaz has given it away. Trippier's intercepted. A terrible ball from Ruben Diaz. The ball's whipped in. It's going to go out for a goal kick. Another opportunity for Newcastle given to them by Manchester City. He's trying to find Gvardiol, who... I mean, I was confident that Doku wouldn't be tucking inside today. And we would see a bit more of a traditional flat back 4. But that's not the case at all. Doku was very much tucked inside and gotten out of the way for Gvardiol to push forward. And he's seen a lot of the ball as well. That's got to be offside, referee. Got to be offside. It's gone in. He's missed a one-on-one Almer on there, but that's got to be offside. Tell me, the linesman's not even flagged. What the fuck, man? If that's onside, then he's missed an absolute sitter. What's wrong with this linesman, man? That's like 10 yards offside and he's not even flagged. How are we 2-1 down? I don't know what to say. You're just pointing the finger at people, aren't you? And that's like something I don't like to do. I don't want to go, you are the reason for making that mistake. That was your fault. But, I mean, you can analyse football till you're blue in the face. But when a simple 5-yard pass is given away, there's not much to analyse. It's pretty simple. Football can be made a very simple game. It can also be made incredibly complex. Foden's found a lovely pocket of space once again, Phil Foden. And he's just overran it again. If he can just be a bit more assured with his touch there, because he's been brilliant, Phil Foden, in finding that space. And Rodri's been equally brilliant in finding Phil Foden. There's some players in this City team that just do not deserve to be on the losing side of this game at all. Phil Foden, I mean, Doku's been a threat. Alvarez has been a little bit quiet, but he's had opportunities here and there. Rodri's been sensational. Just as I say that, he's giving it away, but into the hands of Dubravka, so no danger. That's what I mean. You don't mind us giving it away in that end of the pitch. It's when it's the other end of the pitch where you're giving it away. I know why we're 2-1 down. We don't have a fucking defence this season, Johnny. Josko Gvardiol's gone one-on-one with Almiron. Really good. He got a touch on that, didn't he? Good defending that from Gvardiol. Bernardo Silva taking his time and he's been dispossessed on the ball. It's always like, how long do you fucking want? Why do they think they've got all the time in the world? And they're not letting us play football. Surely you're aware of that. It's good defending from Gvardiol. Macalo, we have got a defence. I understand that it's been a bit shaky at times, but I mean, this is... Laporte is gone, and Gvardiol's come in. The rest of the defence is the same that won the treble last year, so... I don't see... I mean, there's question marks maybe over... Oh, no, the cross is coming in. It's going to be 3-1 if we're not fucking careful here, boys. Bernardo Silva gets it away and Phil Foden gets it away in a free kick. Dan Burns fuming. But I know what people are going to do, though. The people are going to point the finger at Kyle Walker for not blocking the shot from Anthony Gordon. And that one, I think Kyle Walker could have done better. But he wouldn't have to block the shot if Ruben Diaz hadn't given it away. We can't just ignore one mistake. Doku's got into the byline and it's going to be a goal kick, that. He's run it out of play. We can't have a go at the mistake that came after the mistake. That makes no sense. Kyle Walker has to do some last-ditch defending because Ruben Diaz has given it away. So we'll blame Kyle Walker. Makes no sense to me. He wouldn't have to make that defensive action had Ruben Diaz not given it away. Foden has been given the advantage. He's got no one in front of him. The other City players have got to get up with Phil Foden. Here's Foden again, on his own in the penalty area. Doku's fed him. Gvardiol's got the ball now, left wing with loads of space and time. Kovacic, get an equaliser. We've got 8 minutes of stoppage time. Kovacic, he's just giving it away again. I mean, to be honest, I don't know whether that was Bernardo Silva's fault because it looked like Bernardo Silva had let it run across his body and then Kovacic was passing it to Bernardo Silva. And he sort of lets it run across him. Kyle Walker's fouled. Anthony Gordon. Rodri's clattered Bruno Guimaraes in the aftermath. Rodri's fuming. He'll calm it down, Rodri, mate. We cannot lose you. He's absolutely lost his head, Rodri, there. He flattened Bruno Guimaraes after a foul on Anthony Gordon. He flattened him, and then turned round and wanted to kick off on the corpse that he left on the floor. And now, is he getting a book? He's getting booked. Oh, don't tell me this is worse. Well, Rodri's retaliating because Bruno Guimaraes has stamped on Rodri's foot before that. But Rodri he knows what he's doing there, Bruno. Rodri looks like he's fucking lost the plot here. His face, man. He looks like he's absolutely rattled and he needs to calm it down. We need half-time. I'll take 2-1 at half-time now just to calm it down. I wanted the equaliser before half-time, but Rodri's lost it. He's lost his mind here. He needs to cool his head, man. He's squaring up. He's not... Shut the fuck up, Rodri, you clown. What are you thinking? You've just been booked and he's fucking doing that at the ref's face. What are you... If I'm the ref, I'm going, fuck off, mate. Don't square up to me. Jesus Christ, Rodri, man. We just need you on the pitch, mate. Come on. I mean, that's the one weakness in his game that we've seen already. We saw him get sent off against Nottingham Forest. We could do without it again. Good tracking back from Almiron there on Kovacic. Did really well, Kovacic, to get through Guimaraes' tackle. Right, get Rodri in at half-time here now because he needs to calm down. Are you going to flag for that? Well done, Lino. He was about 35 yards offside. This time he sticks his flag up. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We do need to chill, Adam. Gvardiol's giving it away. And here come Newcastle. That's got to be offside. Diaz intercepts into Kovacic. Back to Diaz. 3 minutes of added time remain. Bernardo Silva switches it to Gvardiol, who's got a little pocket of space down that left side with Doku, who's on the left wing ahead of him this time. Has to slow it down. Rodri. Kovacic. Foden is always offering. He's just got acres of space, Foden has. I am loving where he's positioning himself. This is footballing intelligence from Phil Foden. He's been found again, and his touch is poor, though. His touch was really poor. Ake found him brilliantly. Really good ball from Ake, but Foden's touch really let him down there. Kovacic driving forward, spreads it out to the left with Jeremy Doku on the ball. And that's a corner ball right on half-time. Let's get an equaliser now. Big M, mate. I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised if he did it, but I'm not surprised at you suggesting it because I think I agree with you, mate. Can Josko and Ake switch at half-time? Josko is better at centre-back and Ake is our best left-back. I also think Ake is totally underrated on the ball. We've just seen him thread it. Corner ball whipped in. Dubravka comes out. He's flapping and it's fortunately landed right back in his arms. He falls to the ground and as he gets up he realises the ball's like sat in his lap. Yeah, I think Ake's brilliant. We've just saw Ake on the ball ability, threading an eye of the needle pass into Phil Foden. I mean, that goal from Bernardo Silva as well, it's so disappointing. Jeremy Doku's been dispossessed. And as soon as we lose the ball, they're in Newcastle. And here comes Isak. Well, he's got a few City players to beat. Bruno Guimaraes just kicks it out for a throw-in. I think he assumed there was a right winger there, but he passed it without looking. No one was there, and he passes it out for a throw-in. I don't know, Soul King. We don't often do it, do we? We actually have quite a decent record from set pieces, but our set pieces are Kyle Walker, mate. He's got caught on the ball by Anthony Gordon, but it gets to Bernardo Silva. We've still got the ball, thankfully. What a first half this has been. What a first half. Not exactly short of talking points, are we? But there goes the half-time whistle. I'm stunned. I'm absolutely stunned, and I'm very, very angry that we are losing this game. Somehow we are losing this game. Rodri's walking off. I can see him. He's the last player walking off the pitch there. He was right in the ear of the referee. William. Oh, you retracted it, but I saw you before what you said. I agree with what you're about to say. You'd risk KDB. I don't know why you retracted it, mate, but I agreed with what you said. I would risk Kevin De Bruyne. I would. I think you're absolutely right. For who? What would you do? What would you do? Kovacic off for Kevin De Bruyne? Because Kovacic is all over the place, and in not in a bad way. That sounded derogatory. He's all over the pitch. I think Kevin De Bruyne can do that role. It's the psychological impact of seeing Kevin De Bruyne coming on though, with the substitute board being held up. That strikes fear into oppositions. Whereas, I mean, I'm overthinking this really, but coming on at half time, he'll sneak on the pitch, and it wouldn't be quite as big a Kevin De Bruyne is back. You know, whereas like 5 minutes into the second half, Manchester City making a substitution, number 8, Kovacic, for number 17, Kevin De Bruyne. You'd hear the, oh no, from Newcastle fans. They'd go, oh shit. And he's not shy of playing well at St James's Park as well. That volley he scored, what was that, 2019? What an absolute rocket that was. An unbelievable goal. I loved how it was John Joe Shelvey who was trying to block Kevin De Bruyne from scoring that goal, because that was very much a John Joe Shelvey type goal. John Joe Shelvey is like not the greatest player in the world, but he knew how to score from 30 yards out, didn't he? John Joe Shelvey could smack a ball into the back of the net, and he witnessed something very similar. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne was probably teaching him how it's done, and that's how you do it, John Joe. I mean, what a finish that was. But it's a risk. It's a risk. And I agree, Manque. Cover's been fine. I agree. He has been fine. I don't think he's been bad at all. I think the only way... Who would you come off for Kevin De Bruyne? If you wanted to bring Kevin De Bruyne on, who for? It's only really Kovacic or Bernardo Silva, and I can't see him taking Bernardo Silva off. This is a killer. It really is an absolute killer. It just feels like Newcastle have been... They've not been lucky, but they've been gifted their goals. Which, to me, if I'm a Newcastle fan, I would feel lucky. I would watch that game and go, how did City not go 2 or 3-0 up? Because the chances we were creating, we were passing it 3 or 4 times in their penalty area before we got a shot away. And a lot of the times we did get a shot away. There was that moment where Phil Foden tried to square it to Alvarez. I thought then he should have shot. Other than that, I think we've been reasonably good with decision-making in the final third, to the point where we're actually getting a shot away. The finishing's been a bit average. Alvarez has had a couple of shots that have been a bit tame, saved by Dubravka. We saw Bernardo Silva's volley tipped onto the bar. It could have been 3-0 before they even had a chance. And this is the thing with Manchester City right now, because we are being punished for every single mistake that we make. And any opposition we go up against now is sitting back and waiting. Just wait till they make a mistake, because they will. They'll make a mistake, they'll give it you, and the second they do, you gung-ho forward, attack, 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 and just swarm them. And they didn't even need numbers. They just had the space, because the style of football that we play is high risk. So you can't afford to make mistakes. The level of mistakes that are being made, you'll see in every Premier League game throughout every week, from teams that tend to not play such aggressively attacking football like Manchester City do. Most of the time, we have 2 defenders at the back. We have Kyle Walker very much either wide, maybe not quite as far forward as the other side of the pitch, but very, very wide. Then at the other side, you've got Josko Gvardiol, who's pretty much playing as a left winger when we are set up in our attacking shape. And when we do that, we've got 2 players. Today it's Ake and Ruben Diaz as like sitters, players that are just sat there to be a springboard for the rest of the team to bounce passes off. You give the ball away, and we've got 2 defenders who have immediately been pressed by the likes of Almiron, Isak and Gordon. We're outnumbered the second we give it away. And Anthony Gordon, with Kyle Walker being so wide, Josko Gvardiol being so far up the pitch, the space is there to make the most of. So you give it away at your peril, Manchester City, and there's no way Pep's going to change. He's not going to change. It's going to be the same, because it creates opportunities. We'll look at the stats at the end of this game, and we'll see how many more shots and opportunities Manchester City created. I bet the XG's higher as well at the end of the game. But you give the ball away like we do, and we'll get punished. It's infuriating. And what's even more infuriating is the fact that when we've given it away, it's been quality finishes as well. Because Isak's finish was brilliant. Anthony Gordon's was even better. And, you know, on another day, if they go wide, we're probably talking about a different game. But the only reason they've scored is because of Manchester City giving it away. A killer. Let's not take away anything from the football that some of our front forwards have been playing. Phil Foden in particular has been absolutely sensational. Bernardo Silva has been decent, okay. A couple of times he's been giving it away, but I mean, more or less really good. In the goal that he scored, what a finish from Bernardo Silva that was. And the cross from Kyle Walker, bang on the money. So let's give credit where credit's due. Kyle Walker, cross, delicious. Don't often say that. Doku, I think he needs to work on his end product a little bit. But I think he's been posing a genuine threat throughout this game. He's coming forward and looked lethal. He looks like he scares Newcastle a lot. And it's that long ball over the top. It was given away by Gvardiol. And then Doku's had to leap over an Almiron tackle. It ends up with Bruno Guimaraes, who first time whips it over the top of our defence. into acres of space for Isak to get on the end of it. He's got Kyle Walker trying to stand him up. Anthony Gordon comes on the overlap, which has got to cause problems for Kyle Walker's thinking. He doesn't know whether to stick or twist. Do I go with the runner or stay with the man on the ball? You can't win in that situation as a defender. This one, on the other hand, looking at Anthony Gordon coming down, Kyle Walker's got to get across a little bit quicker there, I think. He allows him to come into too close. He allows him to come into a shooting position, and then he sticks like a flailing leg out, Kyle Walker. Yeah, he's got to do better there, Kyle Walker. But Ruben Diaz gave it away on the halfway line. He wouldn't have to be Kyle Walker wouldn't even be tracking back if Ruben Diaz hadn't given it away. Looking at the smug faces of Rio Ferdinand and Laura Woods right now in the studio. Laura Woods, the Arsenal fan. Let's absolutely break their hearts in the second half. Drillelmo, emotions are too high. They certainly were at the end of that half, weren't they? They certainly were. Rodri's got to keep his cool, man. He's got to keep his cool. Oh, I don't know. I still feel like we're going to turn this round, you know. I do have a good feeling. But if anything less than a win, even though we've gone 2-1 down, anything less than a win is going to be so deflating. Because we've been playing some really good stuff in that first 30 minutes in particular. Ortega as well. Let's talk about Ortega because his distribution... One of it wasn't even distribution. It was just standing with the ball at your feet, looking up like, who shall I pass to? Isak's just coming across like a bull out of the gate, mate. You've got to be aware of your surroundings better than that. I can't stand it when a keeper gets his cross blocked. It's a bit of arrogance. It's a bit of naivety from any goalkeeper who gets caught on the ball like that. It's just dangling the carrot. Danny W, good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing all right. I was getting flashbacks to Gibbs White and Rodri. Me too, mate. I'm glad Rodri's come away. He did get booked, didn't he? I'm sure he got booked. I never say anything flash up on the screen to say Rodri's officially been booked, but I'm pretty sure he got the yellow card out. Because Rodri reacted like he'd been booked. Did he, AK? Yeah. Yeah, Rodri got booked. And that's a huge problem for the second half now. Who's next? He'd be suspended for Spurs away. That's right, isn't it? If I remember rightly. Which is not what you need. It's FA Cup, but I mean, we ain't going to Spurs away and winning without Rodri. The best you can hope for is a replay. Yeah, Friday the 26th of January. I hate Friday kickoffs. I hate them. Do you know why I hate them? It's because I religiously have a Chinese every Friday at 8 o'clock. And you've gotten in the way of my salt and pepper chips, FA Cup. Pissed off. I'm in a fucking mood. Kurt, you're absolutely right. We've just got to keep doing what we're doing. We were creating enough chances. You just got to cut out the sloppiness. Don't give them any opportunities. But let's be honest, there was moments where they could have made it 3-1. And that, I mean... Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wouldn't be against bringing Grealish on. We need some more control. I'm all right with the team as it is right now. I feel like I don't think we need to be taking people off right now. The only thing that makes me excited for a substitute is bringing on Kevin De Bruyne. Because it's Kevin De Bruyne that you're bringing on. That's the only thing I'm thinking about when I think about a substitute. just because he's there. You know what? We know what he's capable of, but he's got to be eased back in. And Pep said in his pre-match press conference that he's ready to start. I think that was a bit of mind games. I think that was forcing Eddie Howe to wonder if Kevin De Bruyne is going to start or not. Made him think about it. I had a feeling he wasn't going to start him. Purely because it's just 5 months without football. Do you know what I mean? 5 months without football. Unbelievable. Do you know Kevin De Bruyne has, since the start of last season, the 22-23 season, has got 30 assists, which is the most in all of Europe's top 5 leagues. And second place is Mo Salah with 24. 6 more than second place. And he hasn't been playing football for 5 months. What the actual fuck is that? Like, Jesus Christ. Kevin De Bruyne is just an absolute assist machine. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, that guy. You know what I mean? And now he's back. And he's back. And for me, get him on this pitch. Get him on this pitch. Let's see what he can do. We're talking about easing him into it. He's only got 45 minutes to play. It's not like he's going to play the full 90 and really stretch his muscles. It's just it's not just 45 minutes of a football match. It's a Premier League football match. It's away at St James's Park. It's an emotional game. It's a game where they're going in strong. You know, it's not like you need to think of it as just any old football match. This is a high intensity, very physical football match. So that's why you've got to be a little bit thoughtful about bringing Kevin De Bruyne on. But I mean, if you're fit, you're fit. You know what I mean? If you, I don't see why. If you're on the bench, you should be okay to play. I don't see why not. The players on the pitch need to put it right, says Douglas. Yeah, I think you're right, to be honest. I certainly give him 10 minutes and then bring on Kevin De Bruyne. Can't get. I'm so worried about a Rodri red card in this second half. I really am. Cheers, Russ. It has. It immediately put a smile on my face. Really appreciate that, Russ. Thanks very much. They're not cheap as well, so that's going to help. That's going to massively help go towards my salt and pepper chips. Appreciate that, mate. They know, man. The Chinese takeaway industry, they know how good salt and pepper flavour is. So they charge an arm and a fucking leg for anything with salt and pepper on it. It's so good. So good. I've tried to make it at home myself. Like, try and do your homemade salt and pepper version. People, I bet you've all tried at some point to try and make a takeaway. It just doesn't cut it. It's just not doable. I don't know what it is, but try it at home, fail every time. It doesn't come anywhere near as good as a proper Chinese place. And it's one of those really unhealthy ones as well. Not these new healthy takeaways. It's like packed with grease and sludge and goodness, which I like, by the way. That was a positive. It sounded negative, but that's actually a positive, believe it or not. Players are out. Game's about to get underway. And we're off. Come on, City, let's turn this round. Newcastle passing the ball around a little bit early on at the back and then booting it straight forward. Ortega. Someone's trying to wind someone up there in the chat with a few spellings of the way City there. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Long ball down the line to Alvarez and it's intercepted by Botman into Bruno Guimaraes. Lewis Miley with a good touch, but Rodri steps across and wins the ball back, but it's landed to Isak. Good, powerful play from Rodri. Gets it into Foden. Doku. It's really deep, Doku, and very central. Now he's heading to the left wing now. Kovacic, Rodri. See, Kyle Walker's very high, and Gvardiol's not exactly low either. And they seem to be taking it in turns. To Bernardo Silva's little chip ball was intercepted there. Alvarez trying to do some typical Haaland hold-up play, and he does all right. Does all right. Lovely ball from Gvardiol into Alvarez. Lovely ball that was. Alvarez onto his left foot. Doku's touch was poor. Handball from City players shouting, but I can't see it given, to be honest. I think it hits his hand, and it was pretty low by the side of him. I imagine so, Section 20. Bernardo Silva. Rodri. Long ball to Kyle Walker, and it's intercepted by Dan Burn. Corner ball to Manchester City. Ade, no one really. No one's doing the extra stones roll in midfield. It's a completely different system. We've gone back to the start of the season system where Kyle Walker was going forward. Except first half it was more Gvardiol going forward. This half I've seen Walker go forward a little bit more. I mean, Walker got the assist. He was that far forward for the cross. And I mean, to Bernardo Silva, that was Kyle Walker getting forward. So they seem to be taking it in turns as fullbacks. The issue is when they both go forward, we are left so susceptible to the counter-attack the other way. Leaving Ake and Ruben Diaz on their own. See, the furthest player forward right now is Gvardiol. Kyle Walker's now wandering over to the right wing, thinking about it. You can see what they're trying here. Doku's bringing it forward. He's not having his greatest game, Doku. He's been okay. He's offered a threat, but he's a couple of dribble attempts there that he's been stopped a little bit too easily by Doku's standards as well. I mean, that's the thing with Jeremy Doku. He's set the bar so high for his ability to beat a player. When he doesn't, you're like, oh, he didn't beat a player. But in reality, the defender's got the advantage in any dribbling scenario because it's very hard to dribble a football accurately. Lovely ball from Rodri into Kyle Walker. The cross is intercepted by Dan Burn. He's trying to find Phil Foden. No one at the near post, though. Phil Foden was sort of camped on the penalty spot, but he had to get it through Dan Burn to find him, and it's out for a corner. Yeah, that's true, Soul King. I mean, if we lose the ball, Ake and Ruben Diaz, you're absolutely right. They are not that quick, are they? They are two of our slower defenders, but Alvarez, corner whipped in and it's cleared. Back to Alvarez down the right side. First, that's poor. Alvarez's cross was blocked by the near man. It was fired straight back to him, though. He holds his head in the aisle, like he's annoyed with himself. Here's Doku, who's got an opportunity to beat a player. He's got two players to beat, though. Help him out, Blues. He's on his own down here. Rodri with a bit of space. Very central, though. Pass it, Rodri. Into Gvardiol. First time pass. Kovacic needed to take a touch there. Tried to feed it straight to Doku to beat. That was like 3 first-time passes from Rodri, Gvardiol. Then Kovacic tries another first-time pass. Lovely spin from Phil Foden. There's no one in the box for him, though. Alvarez eventually gets in there, but he's surrounded by black and white shirts. Kovacic is thinking about a shot. Blocked. It's come to Anthony Gordon. Blocked by Kyle Walker. Dinked all the way back to the last man at the back, who is Nathan Ake. He does, James. He does take all our corners, and I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest. I haven't seen him take a good corner that's, a direct corner at all this season. He's been caught on the ball there. Rodri's bringing it forward. That's a foul, referee Dan Burn. Get him in the book. Get him in the book. Has he already been booked? Has he already been booked? Because I tell you what, that's a fucking booking all day long. That's a yellow card all day long. And how has he not been booked? The only way I think he's not been booked is because he's already been booked. But that doesn't make that not a yellow card. Just because it's like, oh, I don't want to spoil the game. Piss off. Spoil away, referee, because that was a yellow card. How has he not been booked for that? Not bad. Demon Whisperer, that's a possibility. Possibility there. Would Alvarez coming off for KDB and Foden playing false 9 work? What do you think? I don't have big objections to that. The only issue with that for me is Foden's been playing so well in his current position, finding brilliant pockets of space, that we would be removing him from that. But then, to counter that, Kevin De Bruyne is going to be finding that space. You'd think, wouldn't you? And the damage he could do if he was given the amount of space that Phil Foden's finding. Yeah. Alvarez on the free kick. It's quite far out, quite central as well. It's savable. Free kick, and it's saved. Very easy as well. You could see that save coming before he took it. Oh, here we go. Time wasting. A free kick was a decent one from Alvarez, to be fair. You just got to get more power on it than there. You're not. He goes for placement. They got it on target. But, I mean, he was so far out that the keeper saw it coming a mile away. Burns not been booked this whole game. Well, he was mouthing off. Who was it saying there? He was mouthing off in the first half, wasn't he? He was giving it large in the first half. For dissent, Isaac's got to be offside there. Get your flag up. Yep. Offside. There's that threat again. Just like one pass and they're in. They've not been brilliant at holding the line, City, either. There's been a couple of times where I thought the line in our defence looks a little bit disjointed. It only takes one player to switch off and not push up with the rest of them, and he'll play, whoever it is, will play Isak onside. So we've got to be careful. That space we're leaving in behind is there for all to see. Ortega. Doku makes a terrible ball, almost a good one, but he couldn't. I mean, it's a hospital ball from him. Ortega, give him a chance, mate. Ball's dinked over the top to Bruno Guimaraes. Ake's getting across. The cross has come in. Rodri's collected it and he's taking it away. Foden there. It's come off Foden. Throw in to Newcastle. 53 minutes into the game. No real sign of City getting an equaliser yet. I honestly cannot believe that we're 2-1 down after that first half. Is it? Am I going insane? Because I know the result is what matters at the end of the day, and I know if we don't win this game, there'll be City fans like saying it's not good enough, it's poor. But there has been some really good stuff, really, really good stuff in an attacking sense in that first half. I was really impressed. On the ball in the first third, just sloppy. There you go again. Bernardo Silva got caught on the ball. Luckily, it gets back to Kyle Walker. I mean, this second half, we've been nowhere near at it. I haven't seen enough quality from this City side so far. In the first, 10 minutes of the second half, ball given away by Bernardo Silva. Botman comes forward with it. And then Bernardo Silva gives it... Sorry, it's Shah who comes forward with it, and Bernardo Silva gives away a free kick. Yeah, I agree, Issa. He has been shaky. He got caught on the ball. Cheers, Addy. So I'm not going mental. Appreciate that. And I agree with you. We need to be clinical as well, because we haven't even been making chances in this first half. Free kick to Newcastle's whipped in. Oh, and Ortega gets on it. Simple one for Ortega, and he rolls it out immediately for the counter-attack. Bernardo Silva coming down the left side with Jeremy Doku, and it's not a good ball to Jeremy Doku. Trippier intercepts and gets the ball back to Dubravka, who fires it straight back down the other way, and it's going to roll all the way back to Ortega. Did he get booked? Did Bernardo Silva? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Did he get... I'm missing things here because I'm looking at the chat, to be honest. But did Bernardo Silva get booked for that tackle he just did? Unbelievable. But you're absolutely right. Dan Burn, yeah, no problem, mate. Yeah, hack away at Rodri. He threw on goal, mate. Yeah, bring him down. Yeah, no problem. I'll let you get away with that. Lovely ball out from Bernardo Silva into Foden, who nods it into Rodri. Rodri's got the ball out now to Kyle Walker, who slowed it down. Feeds Bernardo Silva on the edge of the area. Bernardo Silva dinks one back post. Gvardiol's gets up. Trippier clears it, though. Good defending from Trippier, that was. Would you have Trippier back at City? That's a question for you. You know, Kyle Walker's getting on the end of his career. Rodri's thinking about the shot, but he dinks it out to Kyle Walker. Cushion touch back to Bernardo Silva from Kyle Walker. Back into Rodri. Lovely from Kovacic into Foden. Foden's thinking about the shot. Showed. Oh, and it's straight down the throat. Wow. Not quite straight down the throat of Dubravka, but he only needs to drop to his side to save Phil Foden's shot. Yeah, I really rate Trippier. I really think he's a good player. I think a little bit defensively can be average, but I mean, he's been good in this half. That was a good bit of defending I just saw from him then. It's just the set pieces, man. Like, he's such a threat going forward. Imagine Trippier in this system going forward instead of Kyle Walker. You know what I mean? That's like, that's devastating. But I can't see Newcastle doing business with City anytime soon. In fact, maybe they're fucking broke, aren't they? Well, they're not broke. They just can't spend any money because of financial fair play. Oh, diddums. Poor Newcastle can't spend any money. How many times have I said that? That any club now that gets bought that isn't already an established top tier club with spending power that's already there, like the likes of United, who've already generating enough revenue. Liverpool already generating revenue. Newcastle, they don't generate revenue. They got bought and now they can't spend the money. That's financial fair play. Cry more. And City could go and do Newcastle a favour. If we go and wipe the floor with the Premier League and the independent regulator after this white paper comes into play and we have financial fair play re-evaluated, we could see a completely different setup in financial fair play and giving power to the likes of Newcastle to spend money. Which we could do them a favour by beating the Premier League, and then Newcastle will be like, hey, cha-ching, we can start spending money again. Walker into Foden. Rodri. Oh, little step over from Rodri. Meaningless step over, to be honest, but Bernardo Silva thought about the shot, he dummies it. Alvarez, who's almost like he's playing in the Rodri position. Rodri's now on the right wing, he's tucked inside onto his left foot. Deflected cross is going to go out for a corner. It is Section 20, the oil Classico of the future. It really will be. The thing is, though, because of financial fair play, their journey is going to be such a long slog, a grueling journey to get where we got to, because we were able to get there much quicker. Foden, short corner. Shot's been poor from Foden. His shooting's not been great today from Phil Foden, but his overall play has been brilliant. His positional awareness has been fantastic. IROC, I miss him. If you're asking me personally, I miss Haaland, but I don't think him not being on this pitch today is the reason we're not winning. Hard to say. I certainly would like to see him. Dubravka there, lovely bit of play there from the Newcastle goalkeeper. Thought he was going to get caught on that then. Long ball. Ake deals with it though. Well done, Ruben Diaz. Flicks it over the head of Anthony Gordon, which was a dangerous bit of play that, but he does well there. Kyle Walker with a back heel out for a throw-in. You might be right, Jacob. There's a couple of moments there where you thought it was bobbling around in the area. He just has a knack for moving in the penalty area in the exact right spots, doesn't he? And people say he's a tapping merchant. It's not luck. That's just instinct. It's just you're born with his level of instinct. You really are. Long ball over the top to Trippier. That's our ball, referee. Gvardiol wins the throw-in. A little bit, fortunately, but a good bit of defending from Gvardiol that was. Tracking back and stopping Trippier coming forward. And then the throw-in was a fucking joke. For fuck's sake, City. 5-yard throw. I can't even do that. Get it right, lads. Really simple stuff. And it's just a little 5-yard throw from Gvardiol, intercepted. Yeah, Alvarez has done brilliantly there. Alvarez has won the ball off Bruno Guimaraes. It's hard to say. We're living in hindsight here. Kyle Walker's coming forward. Go on, Kyle! Go on, Kyle! Oh, Phil Foden, you've got to score! Kyle Walker with a marauding run down the right wing there. He was fed. I think it was Alvarez who feeds Kyle Walker. He gets into the penalty area. Kyle Walker gets to the byline and he cuts it into the 6-yard box. Phil Foden, he had to cut back though. He was behind Phil Foden. But he's done really well there, Kyle Walker, to even get in that position. There's only a few players in the world that can do what he just did with his speed. And he cuts it back. And Phil Foden was just a little bit too far forward. And the cut back from Kyle Walker, I mean, to cut it back at speed like that's incredibly difficult. But he does, and Phil Foden's just an outstretched right foot. If it's in front of Phil Foden, it's 2-2. Come on, Bernardo Silva down the right wing. And it's a poor ball from Bernardo Silva, really obvious. Tries to feed it to Foden, but overhits it. Kevin De Bruyne is strapping up. Pulling the socks up. Sorting the shinnies out. You're not a fan of Bruno, are you, Jeff? I think that's like not the first time I've seen you be livid with Bruno. He doesn't annoy me that much. I can see why he might annoy people, but there's another Bruno in the Premier League that fucking does annoy me. He's a prick. Trippier's ball's been intercepted by Rodri, but he's dinked it over the top of Trippier, and Doku's got a bit of space, but... Oh, Bernardo, it's Alvarez! Oh, and it's saved by Dubravka. I mean, Alvarez has got to score there. Looking at that, he's got to score there. Another very savable shot. Dubravka's not exactly been tested. You look at the two Newcastle goals, they are absolute precision in the corner. Right in the corner of the net. That's how you score goals against this level of goalkeeper. It's the only way you're going to score goals of that calibre. You've got to be better with your finishing. You've got to put it in the corner of the net. You can't be getting it in that inner third. Doku, cross is blocked. You're making it savable for the goalkeeper. We've got to get those shots right into the corners. Oh, I can't believe it. How many times have I said that? Can't believe it. The game's slowed down now, which might suit City. Doku. Shots blocked, corner ball. He's got to work on it, Doku, a little bit, because his end product's not been great today. A couple of times, there was a pass into Alvarez that was fantastic from Jeremy Doku. Really, really good. That moment there is like, I don't even know why he's shooting. He's clearly going to be blocked. It's just trying to force it a little bit. Need a bit more patience. I'm not saying bring on Jack Grealish, which is something I wouldn't be that objected to, but I mean, still. Really deep cross from Bernardo Silva. That was silly from Bernardo Silva. Only Rodri and Ake to aim for. And he's chucking it into a box with Botman and Shah and Dan Burn in there. Who's winning that? Even with Ake and Rodri, two very able players in terms of aerial duels. Not when Dan Burn's in there. He got no chance. He's got to stop dinking it in like that. That's aimless. Kovacic finds Phil Foden, thinking about the shot, doesn't. Into Doku. Step overs. Ah, and it's poor again from Doku. And here he is. Kevin De Bruyne stood on the touchline, but it might be too late for Kevin De Bruyne because here comes Newcastle the other way. Kyle Walker's getting back, and the cross has come across to Isak. Big save from Ortega, who comes out stretched. Really big from Ortega, that was. Really big. Needed that. It's a foul, referee. Referee! Newcastle are playing on. Almiron. Edge of the area is Bruno Guimaraes. He's going to have a shot, and it's blocked by... Who's blocked that? Longstaff's blocked that, got in the way of Bruno's shot there. But referee, you fucking clown. What a foul that was if I've ever seen one. Really good from Ortega, though, to get across. It was not... It was like a save cross. He was blocking the cross more than anything. Here comes City the other way. Alvarez. He's got no one to get it to. He's in the area, but City players are now entering the box. Rodri's on the edge of the box. Plays it back to Kovacic, whose shot's deflected and it's saved. Really good goalkeeping that, because that was a quick deflection that he suddenly had to adjust his feet, Dubravka, and drop to his left rather than his right. The deflection took the sting out of it, but that, I mean, to be fair, it's only just deflected, so savable again. Leave it. Foden's got it. Bernardo Silva on the overlap down the right side. He's into the penalty area. Looking slow, but Rodri, edge of the area. That's a foul, referee! I thought he wasn't going to do it then. I thought he wasn't going to give that free kick down. Like Rodri, he bought that, Rodri, but it's a foul. Good little cushion touch. Really good touch. Then he pushes it a little bit further in front, waits for the contact and goes down. Cheers, Marie. Thank you very much. It's almost too close, this. This is right on the edge of the area. The last one from Alvarez was a bit too far out. This one's a little bit too close. But are we about to make a substitution? In which case, Kevin De Bruyne is about to walk onto the pitch. And we have a free kick on the edge of the area. I mean, there's no way this just goes in from Kevin De Bruyne's first touch. There's no way. Honestly. Imagine. Is he even taking it? He didn't even seem like he wanted to take it. And he's picked the ball up. And he might be taking it. I think Alvarez went, do you want this? Kevin, you're pretty good at free kicks, aren't you? And he went, yeah, I am actually. Shall I take it? Go on then. Imagine. Just imagine. Kevin De Bruyne. Edge of the area. There's no way. He's going to balloon this into Rose Ed. Here he comes. Kevin De Bruyne. Blocked. Hits the wall. It's not got away though yet. The ball's with Doku, who whips it back post. Ruben Diaz knocks it back into the dangerous area. It's got him! Alvarez. He's missed an absolute sitter. He's skewed it horribly over the bar. It lands incredibly nicely to him with a pocket of space on the penalty spot. And with his left foot, side-footed with his left foot, it's just horribly over the bar. That's an ugly finish from Julian Alvarez, that is. Oh, no. Oh, no, that's not why he's going to lose sleep over that. He's going to lose sleep over that. I'm going to lose sleep over that. And I need sleep. I really need my sleep, Julian. Fuck. He's got to score that. He's got to at least hit the target. I mean, there was a body, like a sea of bodies in front of him, so I wouldn't have blamed him if it hit one of them. But to balloon it over the bar like that, man, that's not his inexcusable finish, that. And I tell you what, I imagine if that fell to Haaland's left foot, probably not. What would lovely. Kyle Walker's bringing it forward. He should have carried that. Oh, Kevin De Bruyne's got caught on the ball a little bit there. Kyle Walker passed it to him and it sort of hit Kevin De Bruyne's heel. I imagine Kyle Walker's going to get the blame for that, though. Kevin De Bruyne on the overlap. He's crossed it. Alvarez! Oh! Phil Foden! Rebound! Oh, what are we doing? What are we doing in front of goal? It's gone out for a throw-in. That shot was that bad from Phil Foden. The ball from Kevin De Bruyne into the box, though. Alvarez. I mean, Newcastle got lucky. Fabian Schär fell over. And as he was on the floor, he ended up blocking Alvarez's shot that might not have been blocked had he been stood on his feet. But his big frame just blocked the goal right in front of the 6-yard box because he slipped. I mean, Alvarez kept it down this time at least. Hard and low. Side foot. First time effort from Kevin De Bruyne's cross. Then it lands to Phil Foden, who's very acute angle. But I mean, he's not even close. He's not even close. It went out for a fucking throw-in. It was that bad. City knocking it about a bit, and Rodri's dink over everybody. It's gone out for a goal kick, but City players are claiming a corner ball. They've gone mental. Calm it down, Rodri. You've got to stop this, Rodri. You've got to stop. Pep, you've got to call him over and just grab him by the fucking ear, man, and just stop it. He's jumping around like a madman getting in the ref's face. You didn't get the decision. Stop throwing your arms around like I am right now, but I'm not under the threat. I have no jeopardy for getting booked. Yeah, I agree. It was a corner ball, but you're booked. Stop throwing your arms in the referee's face. Fucking begging to be sent off here. And the referee gives a free kick when we've got the ball went through to Phil Foden. Not quite like Jack Grealish against Spurs, but the advantage was there. Pep Guardiola shakes his head. I mean, in terms of football, Rodri's been brilliant. Here comes Kevin De Bruyne with a pocket of space. He's thinking about it. Kevin De Bruyne! He's buried it into the bottom corner! Kevin De Bruyne! Guess who's back? Guess who's back? KDB! Back in the game, 20 minutes to go. Let's fucking have it. Come on, City. Come on, City. Yes! Oh, lovely ball from Rodri, by the way. Rodri's been brilliant in terms of his football. In terms of his emotional management, not so great. But the ball tucked inside to that pocket that Phil Foden has been finding all game. But do you have the class of Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden? You've been a brilliant player all season, Phil Foden. But that pocket of space has been gifted to Phil Foden all game. And you do not gift Kevin De Bruyne that pocket of space. You do not do that, because that's what happens. That's the difference. I know we want to talk about can Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden play together. I'm sure they can, but they are two very different players, and one of them has an immense end product. Phil Foden's end product is too 50-50. There's too often does it go wrong for Phil Foden. It's good at times. Sometimes, like we just saw for that shot that went out for a fucking throw-in, he needs to be more consistent, Phil Foden. But Kevin De Bruyne has just put one. He's passed it into the bottom corner. He's passed it. Yeah, he's just chilling. He just found a pocket of space, drilled. You're thinking he's about to tuck it onto his left foot. Don't do this to me, City. Isaac's through on goal. Don't do this to me. What are we doing? They haven't had a sniff all half in this second half. Into the box, and it's cleared by Rodri. They're asking for it. They're asking for a penalty, but they're not going to get it because here comes City the other way. Phil Foden's carrying the ball with Alvarez ahead of him on the right-hand side. Kevin De Bruyne is just drifting into... he didn't even bother getting forward there. Kevin De Bruyne just went slowly into that number 10 role. And he's just sitting there with a big pocket of space. And this makes me very happy that Newcastle are allowing Kevin De Bruyne to have this amount of space. Oh, I can hear my little girl crying. I hope that's not me who's just shouted my fucking head off. Breaks my heart, man. Can't stand it when she cries. She's such a happy little baby as well. This is like the first time we've seen her upset. Kevin De Bruyne on the right side. Kyle Walker. Five months without playing Premier League football, and within 5 minutes of his return, is it 5 minutes? I don't know exactly, but he scored. De Bruyne's cross. It was a clever cross, and there was no City player aware of it, but he actually found a really nice little pocket of space. If a City player had been a bit more tuned in to what Kevin De Bruyne is capable of, they'd have found a nice little pocket of space in the penalty area. Foden dinks it down. Guess who? Kevin De Bruyne. Right wing. Crossed in. It's cleared. Eventually properly cleared. I'm scared of the counter-attack the other way, though. I really am. I really am. What a game this could be if we can get a third and win this game. Fully deserved it would be. Absolutely 100% deserved. Lovely ball from Kovacic. Phil Foden's thinking about... he had the shot and it was blocked. It was never really on. He was surrounded by Newcastle players. My heart's pounding, man. I can feel it coming out of my chest. Ooh. Having a heart attack live on YouTube. That'll be entertaining. I'll get some views. It'll be the last views I ever get, but at least I'll get some views. De Bruyne. Kyle Walker. Back to De Bruyne. First time passing. Oh, Rodri tried a little touch there. He could have taken it with him. Rodri tried to be a bit too clever there. And Isak, well done. Nathan Ake, well read. Really good. Right now it's left with Isak 1-on-2 against Ruben Diaz and Nathan Ake. Which I'm okay if it's just Isak. It's the second Almiron or... Anthony Gordon gets alongside Isak. Cross comes in from De Bruyne's collected by Dubravka. He's got this ability. He's not even crossing the ball. It doesn't even come off the ground. All of Kevin De Bruyne's crosses so far have been fizzed across the ground. Shit. Here comes Almiron. Anthony Gordon's offering a run on the left-hand side. Kyle Walker's managing him, though. Isak's got the ball, and he's slowed it down into Bruno Guimaraes. City players are getting back, but here come Newcastle still. Anthony Gordon's thinking about the shot. His shot's deflected, and it's gone out for a corner to Newcastle. Wouldn't that just sum up this game entirely if that found its way into the bottom corner? Newcastle getting a third goal. How are they scoring 3 in this game? How? I can't believe they've scored 2. How have we only scored 2? And this is dangerous as well. Fucking corner ball. The size of this Newcastle side. Trippier as well with deliveries like that. And it's cleared by Kevin De Bruyne. I haven't said anything bad about that man yet, have I? Everything he's done is turning to gold. Except that one cross a minute ago. Oh, nodded into Foden's having a shot from miles out. Oh, Dubravka gets back. He thought about it. It was on. It was on. He just didn't get enough power on it. Phil Foden. Dubravka was high up the pitch. Foden lands to him, fortunately. And on the volley, he tries to shoot from about 60, 70 yards. And he doesn't get enough power on it. Almiron's coming forward. Newcastle are posing a bit of a threat now, going the other way. They're going blow for blow. It's going to be end-to-end football, which I don't know if that suits us or them. I think that suits them more than us, end-to-end football. We don't want a basketball match right now. We had control of this game. You keep playing the way we're playing. Just be a bit patient and just get that ball to Kevin De Bruyne and let's see what happens. Game's slowing down a little bit now. Newcastle with the ball at the back. City look tired, man. Long ball over the top. That's their tactic. That just first time whip over the heads of our defenders. They tried it then, but no one was running onto the end of it, so it goes straight through to Ortega. But that's the threat. That's what they've been doing all game. And the few times that they've done it, it's looked dangerous. It really has. I remember we did that. That's the one time I thought Pep didn't play the Pep way, was in the Community Shield against Liverpool years ago. I can't remember what year it was. I'm pretty sure it was Leroy Sané. I think we won on penalties in the end. But we were just dinking it over their really high back line all game. And how often do you hear about a Pep side just going for the direct route? It was on, and he saw it, and it caught Klopp by surprise. I remember it well. Newcastle are doing that to us today. And we shouldn't be caught by surprise, because that's to be expected. We always play like that. Alvarez and Doku tackling each other in the Newcastle penalty area. There was a 1-2, a really big 1-2 from Doku and Rodri. But it was on, and he got the ball back to Doku, Rodri did. And as his momentum's taking him into the area, Oscar Bobb's coming on. Oscar Bobb, Jeremy Doku's coming off. I'm pleased with that. I think that's a great substitution. I am a massive fan of Oscar Bobb. I really, really like this kid. I love him. I think this guy's going to be special. Leroy Sané vibes. Yeah, I remember saying in not my preview, that I did a video about Cole Palmer, didn't I, the other day, who scored today from the penalty spot again. I had no idea he was a United fan. I had no idea. That shows how much I read the papers. I don't really read the papers, to be honest, anymore. I used to all the time, but it was all in the news, wasn't it? That as of a month ago, I had no idea. I just completely missed that piece of information. Completely missed it. And, yeah, a bit gutted about that, to be honest. Oscar Bobb, surrounded by Newcastle players, though. He's working hard, though, to get that ball back. And you've got 8 minutes, Oscar Bobb, to do some damage. See what you can do, mate. Ruben Diaz with a big header. Lovely ball from De Bruyne into Rodri. Rodri's step overs. Oh, Rodri! Oh, and it's been saved. Honestly, what a goal that would have been. It was, Issa. It was a quiet half, but he took that from Doku. You're absolutely right, mate. The ball was fed through into Rodri's path, and he just bursts into the penalty area. Little step over, tucks it onto his right foot and whips it, tries to get it into that far corner, but not far enough. Savable once again. Corner whipped in from De Bruyne. It's a poor one. Cleared. Even Kevin De Bruyne is contributing to bad corners now. Last thing we need. Phil Foden dinks it back to Kevin De Bruyne. Pretty much down by the corner flag. More or less. First time volleyed cross is cleared at the back post. Oscar Bobb brings it down. Phil Foden thinks about it. Back to Oscar Bobb. Oscar Bobb to Kevin De Bruyne on the right hand side. Hard and low from Kevin De Bruyne. And it's cleared. It's going to be another corner. Bruno Guimaraes giving it that to the Newcastle fans. Short one taken quickly from Kevin De Bruyne into Oscar Bobb. He's whipped it in. Oh. And it's off the bar. It's somehow a deflected cross just looped up. And I think it's either Dubravka who's punched it or it hits the top of the bar. Corner ball. What are we on? 84 minutes. There's a goal in this game. There is a goal. Just spat on myself. It's got to be a goal in this game. I hope it's for City. I really do. Kyle Walker, Phil Foden. My palms are sweating. Ortega with a viciously long ball over to Kevin De Bruyne is intercepted. You're absolutely right. Soul King Jack. KDB and Foden together will be great, but with Haaland and not Alvarez. Alvarez plays too deep and the space gets crowded. That's not knocking Alvarez and saying he's a bad player who needs to be dropped. It would just be in the way. It would be. I think Haaland would benefit immensely from having Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne behind him. Lewis Hall, who I'm a fan of, I think he's a great player, Lewis Hall. His end product's not great, but he's a very tenacious, hard-working player with a vicious left foot, Lewis Hall. We saw a glimpse of him when he was at Chelsea last season in the Carabao Cup. A ball from Rodri's been intercepted by Trippier, but Gvardiol forces him to turn round. Long ball over the top. Ake's got to get back. Offside. It was Lewis Miley who was sent through. Have they made it there? That's one of their substitutions they've made just then. How many more have they made? Oscar Bob with a lovely turn. Foul, referee! And he gives it. City knocking it around. Pretty much everyone bar Ake is in the Newcastle half. Rodri with a lovely ball to Phil Foden. Dan Burn looked like he was going to intercept that, but he doesn't. Down the line for Kevin De Bruyne, and its cross is blocked again. De Bruyne is fuming that he's not no one in there waiting for the tap in. And I'm starting to think people who've been saying Haaland, more and more I'm looking at this game. Excuse me. The more I'm thinking Haaland would have finished this game. He would have finished it. But we've scored plenty of goals without him. We've won 5 in a row without him. And we could still win this without him. So, come on. Kovacic into Rodri. What people think of Kovacic's performance? I think he's been solid. I don't think he's been great. I certainly don't think he's been bad. Gvardiol. Back to Kovacic. Into Kevin De Bruyne. He's trying to force a pass through there. Piss off, referee. Absolute joke, man. 2 players just with the ball there. Imagine a football being there and 2 players' feet are just smacking the ball. Kevin De Bruyne and whoever it was, I think it was Fabian Schär, just trying to tackle it at the same time. Schär goes down from a perfectly legit tackle from Kevin De Bruyne and free kick. Danger is gone. 88 minutes ticks over. It would be a shame to see Haaland come back and then Alvarez just gets virtually no minutes other than 15, 20 minutes at the end of a game. That would be a shame, but part and parcel of being at this level. You know, we've got to play our best players, man. And the best formation that works. Ortega into Diaz. Lovely ball from Kyle Walker, first time into Rodri's path. And Rodri now bursts forward, carrying the ball 30, 40, make it 50 yards. Cuts it inside to Kevin De Bruyne, who goes all the way outside to Josko Gvardiol, whose touch was a dog shit touch. Absolutely. And then he gives it away. I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit wound up with Gvardiol. I really am. He's really letting me down, man. I really have high hopes, and I maintain that. And you won't hear me say anything different until the start of next season about Josko Gvardiol. But I'm starting to think he needs to be pulled out of the firing line, you know, because especially if Akanji's fit, who clearly isn't, which is a disappointment for this game, because I think Ake would be the one coming down that left side. And that right there is Josko Gvardiol, what we just saw, a poor touch. And then he got away with his touch because it was given back to him, but that was better. Kevin De Bruyne lets it run through his legs, though, and he probably shouldn't have done that. But, yeah, I need to see a bit more from Gvardiol there. Good ball there, though, from Gvardiol into the path of Kevin De Bruyne. Rodri. Oscar Bob. 90 minutes approaches. Imagine if we nick this. I say nick it, it's hardly being nicked, is it? We're getting what we fucking deserve if we get a third. De Bruyne, back post. Oscar Bob! Oscar Bob! Oscar Bob has scored! Oscar Bob has made it 3-2! Oscar Bob! Kevin De Bruyne's beautiful ball into Oscar Bob. The first touch, he goes round his keeper. keeper, and he just pokes it into the back of the fucking empty net. Take that, you horrible magpies. You deserve fuck all from this game. Exactly what you deserve is exactly nothing. Nothing. Fuck. Is he onside though? Question marks. Is he onside? Oh. Well onside. Well onside. That touch could have been a penalty. Could have been a penalty. It's a goal. Let's get on with the game. Still time for a fucking equaliser, no doubt. Telling you. I told you this lad. Oscar Bob. I told you. What am I doing here? 3-2 to City. That's what I'm doing. Look at that. Pep celebrated like I did. Most of my celebrations are a little bit angry, but that was pure rage. Throw in from Newcastle. Don't! Clear it! Almiron! And it's into the hands of Ortega. For fuck's sake, City. How's about making life difficult for yourself? Almiron's claiming handball. Don't even give him a penalty. Don't even give him a penalty. What are they doing here? What are they doing? Bring it down, Nathan. And he boots it into the air. Out for a throw into Newcastle. Oh, Jesus Christ. They stopped the game to let VAR do something, and then the check was immediately completed. Oh, I thought they was giving a penalty then. Foden, get down to that corner flag, mate. Get down that corner flag. Lewis Hall getting back. He's out my fucking ear. What? Kevin De Bruyne has been flattened and it's a free kick to Newcastle. Anything to try and even it up. Oh my God. Yes! Full time! Yes! Yes! That's a massive 3 points. That is the damage, the psychological damage that's done to our rivals. Oh, you love it. How's about being a City fan, eh? How's about that? That's exactly what we deserve. Exactly what we deserve. That is unbelievable. I said it. I said Oscar Bob's the man. Oscar Bob's a magical player. He's going to do big things at this club. I wasn't expecting him to do it tonight, but fuck me, he did it tonight. I also said at half-time, we're turning this round, and we've turned it round. Oh, Kevin De Bruyne, you absolute beauty. Coming on, by the way, for the assist as well. Can we just... Eddie Howe. Cry more, mate. Unlucky. Unlucky. You tried to rob us. Unlucky. But, wow. The embrace, the celebrations from the Manchester City players. We talk about it with regards to Arsenal's celebration. That's the time when you celebrate like that. When you get a last-minute winner in a game that you've been horribly denied of a very clear victory that should have been categorically done and dusted by half-time. Yet we find ourselves 2-1 down. And you turn the game round from a superstar legend of the football club that's been out for 5 months. And he comes onto that pitch and he scores within 5 minutes. And then he dinks a lovely ball over the top in the 90th minute to get an assist. That's Hollywood stuff, mate. You don't write scripts like that without being accused of the unfathomable, without being accused of bullshit. There's no way that would happen. There's no way, but it does at Manchester City. Because we see things they'll never fucking see. Because we're Manchester City and this is the way we do things. Might not be easy, but it might make my heart fucking want to leap out of my chest. They're going to kill me one day, these City players. They are going to kill me, but Jesus Christ, that's worth it. It's worth it. Oh, sweating buckets. Absolutely love it. Oh, can you believe it? Wow. I'm just going to sit here and just embrace a minute or two of these celebrations because I'm loving watching this. The smiles on the City players' faces. The embrace for Kevin De Bruyne. All those grueling hours and miserable hours as he's described, which he didn't say it was miserable, but he described himself being a taxi driver for his kids. I can relate, mate. I can relate to that. And it's not that's not miserable. That's enjoyable being there for your kids. But as a footballer, as a professional footballer, to sit there and not be able to play, not only to be able to play football because you love it, but to be Kevin De Bruyne and not be able to play football when you are the best midfielder in the world. I mean, to come on, it must feel like such a good feeling. Huge hugs for Kyle Walker. The biggest hug I've seen Pep Guardiola. The pats on the backs, kiss on the cheek. Guys, that's who you're disagreeing with. Those of you that have a problem with Kyle Walker, go and tell Pep that. And let's wait for your answer. I'll wait for Pep Guardiola to reply. He won't, obviously. But that's who you're disagreeing with. You're not disagreeing with me. You're disagreeing with Pep Guardiola. There's a reason he's captain. There's a reason he keeps playing him. There's a reason he just grabbed him by the scruff of the neck and hugged him and squeezed the life out of him and gave him a big fat kiss on the cheek. You don't do that to players who play shit. You don't do that to players who aren't valuable to your squad. You don't do that. You certainly don't do that if you're Pep Guardiola and a manager of this standard of football. He's playing him for a reason. Absolutely sensational. Sensational. I tell you what, I wish I could have seen Mark Goldbridge's reaction, and I'm gonna, first thing I do after this is have a look, see, do it now. Let's all go and have a look at Mark Goldbridge's reaction, and he was quivering, crying in a corner, no doubt. That's hilarious, that is. Oh, I'm just imagining it. It's living in the moment. I'm not even there yet, but that's so good. So good. Oh, brilliant. Blues, I'm going to do a match reaction as soon as I can after this. But yeah, I mean, really looking forward to it. Thanks so much to the chat. You've been amazing as usual. And I was expecting a not as normal audience from you guys, considering I've been away for like the last two watch-alongs, Huddersfield and Sheffield United. I missed it, so I thought some of you might not be here for this one. But you are. All the same names I'm familiar with, as well as some new names I haven't seen before, which is really, really good. And I am forever grateful for you guys tuning in to little old me watching Man City play football. It's really, really good, and it means a lot to me. Especially moments like this as well, which we can share together, watching that, what we just watched. So good, I'm not even saying words anymore. These are just noises. Oh, brilliant. Love it. Blues, I'm going to do match reaction as soon as I can after this. Fantastic, fantastic. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.